Fiveclaw, over here. Tarn wants to speak to you. I assume you recovered the Master Key? Oh, fragrant, my friend. I have waited a long time to return to the palace. My home. Tarn will describe the plan to you. I need a moment to collect my thoughts. Do you doubt my claim, Fiveclaw? No, no. Sometimes I find it hard to believe as well. I was barely 13 when the soldiers attacked. My father, King Hemakar, thought the new Emperor had sent troops to bolster our defenses. He was wrong. Not just Rimmon. All of Nequina. The usurper queen hired an army and conquered our land to assuage her pride, her greed. She wanted to be a queen, so she killed my parents and subjugated my people. With your help, that ends today. My father's bodyguard, the King's Claw, escorted me to an adeptorium. I insisted on visiting the Grand Adept of the Desert Wind, and my father acquiesced. We were there when Euraxia attacked. Later, he took me to Gareshri. I never saw him again.
This city, Rimmon, I believe I visited this place long ago. It was newer then, not quite as large, and there were definitely fewer Euraxians. I am almost certain about that. It seems that before I became the emaciated epitome of perfection standing before you, I was the miscreant the world knew as Cadwell the Betrayer. My recollections of that time are all jumbled up like pieces of broken pottery in a burlap sack. I've been wondering about that myself. Was it the transition from life to death? When I turned into a soul shriven, perhaps the centuries I spent wandering around scenic Cold Harbor? Who can tell? I'm just glad that I'm no longer a monumental ass. I've seen things that would curdle the cream in your cabbage pie. My original head is a menace, and that necromancer, Zumog Foom, he's even worse. They collected a pile of body parts. I think they're me, or the old me. It's all quite confusing. Wouldn't miss it for all the shackles in Cold Harbor. I live for this kind of adventure. Besides, I want to make sure they don't get around to reassembling my old body. One of me is quite enough. Two is definitely out of the question.
I may not have figured out Chimera's true identity, but things have been hectic since I met her. Zamorak, though, he was easier to surmise. I recognized the bearing of the King's Claw the moment I saw him. Did you find us a way into the palace? The crypts. So that means another delightful trek through the sewers. The overwhelming stench of excrement still lingers from our last visit. Ah well. I have another task for you to deal with first, however. The siege weapons aim down into the city. We need to disable them before Euraxia realizes she's under attack, or she'll destroy Rimmon just to spite us. Meet Nalado and destroy 2 of the installations. Chimera will take care of the 3rd. Just thinking out loud, a habit I acquired during my time in the archives at White Gold Tower. Zamorak once served as a royal protector. From his bearing and the way he hovers near Chimera, he had to be one of the King's Claws. It's quite obvious. Captain Nalado's waiting for you near the siege weapons. Work with her to put them out of commission. Once we see the weapons go up in flames, we'll head out and rendezvous with you at the sewer entrance. I'm counting on it. After you and Nalado destroy the first 2 platforms and Chimera deals with the 3rd, Euraxia will order her troops into the streets to defend the city. That will mean fewer soldiers inside the palace to hamper our assault. The King's Claws were an elite squad of agents loyal to King Hamilcar of Rimmon. They protected the king and the royal family, undertook special missions, all very hush-hush. It's a guess, but if I'm right, it explains much about Zamorak. The good captain waits near the palace. She went on ahead to scout the area and determine what opposition you might encounter at the siege weapon platforms. I appreciate that level of planning, especially since it's rare to see among the Khajiit. Someone needs to remain behind and organize what remains of the militia. The Speaker of the Main is best suited to the task. Besides, if we fail, though we won't, someone needs to respond when Euraxia unleashes death and destruction upon the city. Zamorak, Cadwell, and I will make our way to the sewers and deal with any Euraxians stationed there. Can't have them raise an alarm and alert my half-sister to our true intentions. Are you insinuating that my contributions are lacking? Very clever. At least you waited to throw that in my face. As you well know, it was never my intention to loose the dragons on Elsweyr. I wasn't even aware of their presence in the halls of Colossus. Despite your jibe, I will fix this. Count on it.
This one feels the weight of responsibility. It bears down like a boot upon my tail. Zamorak says many things. This one's words jump out of their own accord like fish leaping from a stream. Pay them no mind. We have much to do, Walker. Now is not the time to dredge up events that happened long ago. You asked Zamorak about his exile and why he returned. This one supposes he needs to tell someone, so it might as well be you, Walker. Zamorak was once more than just a humble adept. He was plucked from his studies and forged into a king's claw. Zamorak set aside his studies to protect the king and the royal family. But Zamorak failed. In the end, this one could save only Chimera. After that, I exiled myself and dedicated my life to peaceful contemplation. Zamorak dreamed that Elsweyr was in danger, that Joan and Jode wanted me to return, to face my failure and help Chimera take back her throne. That is what Zamorak thinks. That is what Zamorak will do. But do not tell Chimera. Not yet.
I'll get to the far bastion. Best we don't travel together.
Come witness the miracle at Sunspire. Offer yourself to divine Alkosh and be saved. The Trader shall pray for you, all of you.
Five clog.
Good, good. We have work to do. Are you ready to disable the siege weapons and wreak some more havoc? The soldier guarding the gate to the south weapons platform appears bored. This one plans to give her something to get excited about. When she leaves her post, slip through the gate and set fire to the siege weapons. Be quick, Five Claw. At the gate, yes. This one observed a few more soldiers on the platform, but not many. The usurper queen feels secure in Rimmon. We're about to change that. After this one deals with the soldier, I will move on to the north platform. Meet me there.
Watch as Nalado becomes a sleek Uraxian soldier. Gah! How do they see with this thing on? Garashi has been spotted in the market. Hurry!
Finally, some action.
Nalado will deal with the soldier. Oh, this one can't wait to get out of this dungy armor. The south platform is under attack.
Stupid cats! Wait, I better warn my lieutenant first.
Go, destroy the siege weapons. Nalado will clean up this mess.
We should be able to watch Queen Carmira destroy the far platform from over here. She did it! Now let's meet the others at the sewer entrance.
Here come the others now.
A queen should not rush into danger. It is unseemly. This one should be at her side to keep her safe. Nalado will follow orders, though. We must make our way through the crypts and into the palace before Chimera gets into too much trouble, yes? Chimera is queen now, so this one must do as she says. There are dangers ahead, regardless of whether we stick together or not. But we have a better chance of reaching the usurper queen if we approach from multiple directions. Yes, and if anything happens to our new queen, this one will have Tharn's head on a platter. We waste too much time, Five Claw. Are you ready to enter the sewers and find the door to the crypts?
I'll scout ahead! Tally-ho!
Nalado and Zamorak worry like mother cats over newborn kittens. I will be perfectly fine alongside Abner Tarn. Now, get moving, Five Claw. I want you there when I plunge my blade into the usurper queen's heart. Probably, but she has no reason to believe that the small strike force is attempting to breach the palace defenses. With the destruction of the weapons platforms, she should order her soldiers into the streets to repel our militia. Perhaps. But by Joan and Jode above, this plan will work. It has to. I will throw Euraxia from the battlements and reclaim my family's throne. This I swear in my father's name. Then we can deal with the necromancers and the dragons.
Have no fear. I promise to keep the cat safe. We'll meet up with you in the palace before we reach the throne room. Just watch out for any defensive spells my half-sister may have placed as you make your way through the crypts. Alarms, most certainly. Possibly snares to trap us, if my half-sister is feeling generous. More likely, explosive runes. Messy, but effective for keeping out unwanted guests. Will these ignorant questions never end? Euraxia has powerful magic of her own. The palace is warded against that sort of intrusion. I'll have to get inside the wards before I open a portal, and even then, teleportation will be risky. Our chances of success increase exponentially if we divide into two groups. Make your way through the crypts and into the palace. We'll meet up there. But be prepared. Once Euraxia knows we're near, we'll all be needed to finish her off.
Unsheathe your claws.
There is the door to the crypts. Let us see if the master key still works.
Nalado will guard the rear. You go ahead and...
This one hasn't visited these crypts in a long, long time. When Zamorak... Wait. This is the royal crypt, but it has been disturbed. They took his body. They desecrated the king's grave. And from the looks of it, the queen's and Kamira's siblings as well. Zamorak has no clue. This royal crypt was prepared when King Hemakar ascended to the throne and married Queen Numara. Why inter the bodies and then dig them up 6 years later? Dark moons. This one hopes that is not the case. To even think such a thing makes Zamorak's fur stand on end. We should hurry and find Kamira. Find the queen. We need to find a way into the palace, and quickly.
Euryxia not only murdered our king and queen, she desecrated their graves! She's a monster!
We can reach the royal chambers through the Chapel of the Guiding Moons and the Great Hall.
The Chapel of the Guiding Moons is just ahead. It's the necromancer, Zumag Foom. They locked us in.
Queen Euryxia will be delighted to hear that we have guests.
Oh, look, more cats. I do adore flaying and then roasting the nasty creatures.
If you'll excuse us, we have another member of your party to deal with.
I'm of two minds. I want to watch your cadavers tear these cheeky mudcrabs apart, but I also want to deal with my inferior duplicate. What to do? What to do?
Leave the door to Zamorak. This one will make an exit.
More undead!
Zamorak will guard your backs.
Go left while this one goes right. We will meet in the royal chambers.
Help! They're going to destroy me!
Destroy you? No, we're simply correcting a mistake.
We will transfer your duplicate's animus into you. But our time with Queen Euraxia has reached its end. Come along.
Please, not like this. Try smashing these glass balls. Well, that wasn't pleasant. You go on. I'll be along in a snap. Can you believe the audacity trying to absorb my essence? Really? I'm not quite sure of the particulars. You'd be surprised how little of the necromantic arts I managed to pick up, even after all that time in Cold Harbor. Anyway, I think that vile head wanted, well, me, I suppose. From what I've heard, she really is a terrible ruler. And did you know she's Abner's sister? Family, am I right? The necromancer told the head that it was time to make a deal with a more powerful master, whatever that means. I'm feeling a bit deflated, really. Probably wouldn't be worth a dented soup spoon in a fight right now. Need a bit of a lie down. Maybe two. You go ahead. The royal chambers are right up the stairs. I'll join you as soon as I can.
There. Make haste. Euraxia is in the palace courtyard with Mulamnir. Be cautious. We need to know what Euraxia and the dragon are planning before we attack.
To the southwest. Zumog Fum has the key. Now, about my request.
The necromancers have already agreed to serve Calgrontid. You no longer interest us, Euraxia Tharn.
How dare you! We had a deal! What's this now? My incompetent half-brother and... Aha! The lost princess returns. No! Here. Your parents have missed you so, princess. Mother! No! I never liked you, Elder. Now you over and just die!
I'll take down that shield. You deal with the undead.
I need to see the throne.
Once this all began, I knew Euraxia would need to be dealt with. But sending Chimera's murdered parents against us, death was too easy an end for my half-sister. I'm concerned that the dragons continue to work with the necromancers, though. Half-sister. And do I really seem like the sentimental type to you? Euraxia may be gone, but Mulamnir mentioned his leader, Calgrontid. He said the necromancers were helping them, and Euraxia said something about a moon gate to the southwest. Perhaps. The next queen of Anequina said there's no time to mourn the dead, but I worry what happened here could affect her judgment. Let's get to the throne room and try to figure out why the dragons need necromancers and a moon gate.
We will deal with the fallen later. I fear more pressing matters must concern us now. May the dark take Euraxia! She sent my own parents against us, and killed the brave and honorable Nalado! But we have no time to mourn. We must determine what the dragons seek at the ancient moon gate. Do not presume to tell me how I should feel. I am the queen now, and I do not have the luxury or the time to grieve. Fiveclaw, those were not my parents. They were animated husks, nothing more. And I will remember Nalado's sacrifice, after we finish saving Elsweyr from the dragons. You are still with me in this, Fiveclaw. You and Abner Thorn both. We ended one threat, but two more remain. I will go on without you, but I would rather have you at my side for what is to come. The war is far from over. Even a queen needs to consult with such learned personages as Garresh Rhee and Abner Thorn every now and then. Take this in recognition of your efforts on our behalf, Fiveclaw. Then talk to Garresh Rhee. I need to think. This throne. For too long, a tyrant has sat upon it. But now...
The men must recognize you as the heir of Anequina. But the people already cheer your name.
Finally, this palace is a labyrinth. Did I miss anything?
A word, Fiveclaw. Chimera's parents would be proud of how she has stepped forward in these dark times. Moons, I am proud of her. While Chimera gathers her thoughts, the rest of us have work to do. Tell me, what happened in the palace? You bring news both welcome and grim. But we can neither celebrate a victory nor mourn the good captain until later, I fear. We need to determine why the dragons are willing to associate with wielders of dark magic. Could they be interested in the moon gate of Anequina? It lies in that direction. I wonder if this pertains to Euraxia's final order. A soldier mentioned it after we captured her, but she refused to elaborate. Maybe you can help Tharn find out more. Even now, Abner Tharn searches through the documents in the royal study, seeking information concerning this final order. Despite his show of indifference, Euraxia was his half-sister. Her death is bound to affect him. I suggest that you tread warily. Worried? No. That would imply I had any feelings toward the man whatsoever. I'd say I'm more concerned that his nonchalant attitude toward his sister's death might be hiding his true emotions. I trust that he's here to help, but he's still a Tharn.
Queen Kamira went through a difficult trial just now, but she will be stronger because of it. Thank you for standing beside her, Fiveclaw. Yes, this one remembers how confusing things can get after a heated battle. You and Abner Tharn came to Elsweyr to help us against the dragons. Dragons that Tharn accidentally unleashed upon our land. Along the way, well, things became complicated. Well, we discovered that Euraxia, the Usurper Queen, had struck some sort of deal with the dragon leaders, Mulamnir and Kalgrontid. We also learned that she had an army of necromancers led by Zumog Fum. Luckily, Euraxia is no longer a problem. The necromancer Zumog Fum is apparently close to restoring Cadwell the Betrayer, the evil person who Cadwell was in life. He and his cadre of dark mages have aligned themselves with the dragons. Supposedly, they seek the Moongate together.
Zumog Fum has been collecting my original body parts. He tried to steal my essence and stick it back in my old noggin. I think he's trying to put me back together. Well, not me, the other me, the betrayer.
When you look at the world as lines on a map, it all seems so small and insignificant. I was trying to determine the meaning of this document, but so far the secret eludes me. I found a letter, but it's not complete. Looks like a scribe's dictation. I've been searching for more, but I haven't made much progress through the royal stacks. With your help, perhaps the search will go more quickly. It alludes to an order Euraxia was preparing to deliver shortly before our assault on the palace. It mentions a Captain S, the Cygnus Irregulars, and a favor for the dragons, but gives no indication as to who they are or what the favor might be. We did what had to be done. Think no more about it. If you hadn't ended Euraxia, I certainly would have. Now, look around and see if you can find anything pertaining to this unfinished letter. I'm sure it refers to Euraxia's final order. This study contains documents from when the Khajiit ruled Rimmon, as well as papers that cover the span of Euraxia's rule. So many, many papers. She was a prolific writer, I'll give her that. At least she didn't destroy her files before she died. Anything pertaining to this so-called final order. While we're looking around, let's see if we can find anything that mentions the dragons, the necromancers, or anything significant. Who knows? Captain Sorlinia, that must be Captain S. And the Cygnus Irregulars are Imperial troops under the command of Prefect Kalo at Sandswirl Manor. Old Khajiiti legends and rumors of a last dragon guard. Intriguing. Control dragons? What folly. But what was that about killing the last dragon guard? I think you found everything I need to fill in the blanks. Let's talk. The documents you uncovered allow me to make sense of this unfinished dictation. I believe I now know the contents of Euraxia's final order. Euraxia ordered Captain Sorlinia to assassinate a dragon guard in an effort to appease the dragons. Sorlinia plans to commandeer as many additional soldiers as necessary from Prefect Kalo at Sandswell Manor and retrieve a report. Neither do I, at least not fully. The Dragon Guard were the sworn protectors of the Imperial Emperor. At least they were until they fell out of favor. Euraxia has ordered her assassins to murder what she claims to be the last Dragon Guard. Don't ask me. The Dragon Guard I knew failed to protect the potentates and were disbanded in disgrace. They claimed to have descended from legendary Akaviri dragon hunters. But that's all it was. A legend. We need to get to Sandswell Manor. We can't take any chances. Euraxia's final order directs her assassins to murder the last Dragon Guard. If the dragons consider this threat real, we need it on our side. Meet me west of the city, on the outskirts of Sandswell Manor. Kalo is mentioned in Garesh Ree's intelligence reports. He commands a garrison of troops in an estate seized when they conquered the region. As for Sorlinia, I've never heard of her. But an assassination squad, they're never a good thing.
Are the people of Rimmon cowards?
They're just afraid, Kamira. Remember, the dragon's still dark in the skies overhead.
But we need to replenish our forces. I fear there are more battles ahead.
You carry the weight of the kingdom, Kamira.
I found a set of round orb-like objects sitting on a forgotten shelf here in the palace. They're the perfect shape for juggling. Turns out I'm good at juggling. Who knew? And I find it strangely soothing after all that mayhem and fisticuffs.
But no troops. We are on our own.
Nakiri has traveled to many places, seen many lands, but it is in Rimmon that he has finally decided to rest his weary bones. Fortunate for you, no?
An Imperial garrison housed in a Khajiiti estate. My half-sister spared no expense, I see.
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me...
Prefect Kalo commands a full complement of soldiers, mostly seasoned Imperials and not the Nibonese mercenaries that make up Euraxia's main forces. It's probable that Sorlinia and her assassination squad is here as well, so I advise caution. I prefer to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, of course, but these are enemy forces. We must do what we must to complete our mission. I'll work my way down from the upper levels of the house. You find your own entrance and we'll meet somewhere inside. Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence, and keep an eye out for Captain Sorlinia or anything related to Euraxia's final order. We need to determine where the assassination squad plans to strike if we're going to save the Dragon Guard. As I said, the Dragon Guard I knew were the Emperor's protectors. I suspect this has more to do with legends that speak of their role as dragon hunters of old. Idle speculation isn't going to accomplish anything. If I were younger... I feel the weight of my years, and it gets worse the longer this goes on. In my younger days, I would have already corralled the dragons and banished the necromancers to a forgotten plane of oblivion. Enough of this. I'll meet you inside.
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat. One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
How good of you to join me. Let's talk. We need to speak quickly. I doubt I'll remain undiscovered for very long. This projection, a simple spell. Nothing to it, really. But that's not what I want to discuss. I'm hiding in an empty servant's quarters at the moment. I discovered that Prefect Kalo is no longer in charge here. In fact, he's been arrested. That's the thing. Prefect Kalo isn't really one of the Euraxians. His cohort of Imperials accompanied my half-sister into Rimmon, but he's been a vocal opponent of her coup and subsequent claim of rulership. Apparently, he refused another order. Kalo's probably being held on one of the lower levels. See if you can find him. He should be able to tell us more about the Dragon Guard and Sorlinia's orders. Wait a moment. I'm about to have company. I'll find my way to you as soon as I can.
Interesting. You're not one of Euraxia's mercenaries. I'm Prefect Kalo, commander of the Cygnus Irregulars. And you're that outsider working with the Khajiit militia. I expected you hours ago. Well, let's not dawdle. You have an assassination squad to stop, I assume, so if you'd open my cell? It's elementary. I pay attention to every significant event that occurs in the region. Comes with my job description. I have agents, spies, and informers from Riverhold to Rimmon. The dossier on you could choke a Wamasu. Now, about this door? I'm an Imperial without an Emperor. My cohort was assigned to accompany Euraxia on a fact-finding mission. She turned it into a conquest. I tried to temper her more violent tendencies, but her mercenaries outnumber my legionaries by a wide margin. I refused a direct order. Wouldn't give Solinia my soldiers or my file on the last Dragon Guard. So, here I am. How about this? You can find a copy of the report in my office. If the information it contains helps you, then come back and set me free. I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but neither do I want to see it destroyed. Dragons were the last straw. In other words, this is me making a stand. You can find a copy of the Dragon Guard report in my office upstairs. Conquer Rimmon? Euraxia was sent on Imperial business to a province that owed us fealty. There was no reason to conquer a place we historically controlled. No. She decided to make her own play for power while Emperor Varen was otherwise engaged. It was complicated. Look, our quick visit turned into an invasion. Euraxia contracted an army of Nibonese mercenaries to back her up, and then the Emperor disappeared and his empire collapsed. We were stuck here without orders or assistance. She burst into my office with orders from Euraxia, demanded I provide soldiers to support her assassination squad, then commanded that I turn over my file on this so-called last Dragon Guard. I politely refused both requests, and she had me arrested. An elite unit of mercenaries. They're rabid dogs that Euraxia points at her enemies. They like to kill, and they're extremely good at it. With the urging of the dragons, she pointed them at their current target, the so-called last Dragon Guard. Well, that puts a new spin on the situation. Solinia took my file. Then she and her soldiers went to assassinate the supposed last Dragon Guard to appease Euraxia's dragon allies. There's a copy of the file in my office, but I suggest you hurry. Not much. I never got around to reviewing the report. You can read it yourself in my office. For some reason, this rumor of a last Dragon Guard inspired Euraxia's ire. Maybe because the legends say they were once renowned dragon hunters? I see you found the report. Now we can continue our conversation without being separated by those inconvenient bars.
Ah, there you are. And I see you've captured Prefect Kalo. I presume he surrendered without a fight?
Don't look so shocked. My irregulars are very good at what they do. It was simple enough for them to sneak in and set me free. Now, what did you learn from the report? Anything that will help us stop Captain Solinia and her assassination squad? As I said, we were never willing participants in Euraxia's conquest of northern Elsweyr. My irregulars did as little as possible to advance her agenda, and we worked to sabotage it as often as not. Besides, have you forgotten about the dragons? The dragons won't stop after they kill or subjugate the Khajiit. We're in as much danger as everyone else. If Lord Garesh-Ri pardons my soldiers, we'll help fight the dragons. But we're going to need the Dragon Guard. Do you know where he is? Grand Chancellor, I propose that you get Garesh-Ri to pardon the Cygnus Irregulars so we can form an alliance.
An alliance? Interesting. Comrades would be helpful in the battles to come. I'll return to Rimmon, plead Kalo's case, and send someone to help you. Meanwhile, I suggest you start your search for the shrine at the Stitches.
Captain Solinia and her assassins left the estate shortly before you arrived. If you're gonna catch them before they find and kill the last Dragon Guard, you really ought to get a move on. I've been nothing but helpful since you met me. Besides, I give you my word as an Imperial officer. I pledge myself and the Cygnus Irregulars to the service of the new Khajiit Queen for the duration of the dragon infestation. Then, I haven't given it much thought. To tell you the truth, I don't expect us to survive whatever it is the dragons are up to. If we happen to find a way to win the day, I'll extend my offer of an alliance for as long as the Queen will have us. Just what was in the report. No. Wait a moment. There was something else. I didn't connect the two until just now. A merchant in the Stitches was selling actual Akaviri relics. Claimed to have found them in a cave in the western section of the Scar. As you can probably guess, Euraxia didn't go out of her way to consult with me. Especially after I refused to turn over command of the Irregulars. From what I gathered, she and her necromancer, Zumag Fum, had or knew something the dragons wanted. Most likely something that Zumog Foom has promised to deliver, seeing as he's still in league with the dragons. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it must have something to do with the creepy floating head that follows the necromancer around. I've been nothing but helpful since you...
I'll take the prefect to Rimmon and see if I can negotiate an alliance between him and Chimera. We could use the help, but I'm not sure our young queen will agree. Meanwhile, you need to go to the Scar and find that shrine before the assassins do. Well, news of Euraxia's death has reached her mercenaries. For the most part, they've decided that Zumog Foom is their new leader, and they're willing to do whatever the dragons say. I suppose they think that's better than being eaten. Trust? We'll have to see. From what I've learned here in the manor, though, it's evident that Kalo and his irregulars have no love or respect for Euraxia's mercenaries. That counts for something. Mistakes happen. They're a fact of life. But Prefect Kalo is a trained Imperial soldier. I know his type well. Unlike the Euraxian mercenaries, he'll be as good as his word. And if not, I'll turn him into a mud crab.
shoplift at your own risk. It's a long way down.
Tarn sent Zamorak to assist you against the Euraxian officers Saulinia and her assassins. The locals say that a group matching their description passed through here a short time ago. Tarn explained that we seek a hidden Akaviri shrine. Saulinia, the assassin who murdered King Hemakar and Queen Numara. Zamorak heard that name often on the day of Euraxia's coup. Perhaps this one can finally get justice for the royal family. No. Zamorak was guarding Kamira that day. We were far from the palace. Anyway, this one learned that the local crime lord provided Saulinia with guides who know the Scar well. We must hurry if we hope to catch them. The Scar can be a treacherous place, Five Claw, even without the addition of a Nibonese assassination squad. We need to hurry, but we should also proceed with caution. The Scar was carved across the face of an Equina in the ancient past. Some say Kunzari is responsible. Others, that Alkosh himself marked the land with his claws. Things live in the deepest cracks and crevices that we would do well to avoid. Truthfully, Zamorak almost refused when Tarn gave the order. This one has only just reclaimed the mantle of King's Claw, and was reluctant to leave Queen Kamira's side. But you needed help, and Zamorak was best suited to aid you in this endeavor.
Careful where you flaunt your wealth, Walker. You are a tempting prize.
More bodies. The hired guides. Sardinian's work. Look! There is a door behind these stones. Is this the place we seek? That door. Not even all of Zamorak's strength and training can budge a magical barrier. Maybe the pedestal. The pedestal maintains the magical barrier, but Zamorak does not know how.
Find the Dragon Guard, or his blood won't be the only thing that stains my blade this day.
The assassins! The assassins! They stalk the southern passages. We must hurry. There may be another way past this door, deeper in the complex. Whatever has been hiding behind that door for all these years can wait a little longer. We need to deal with the assassins. They are the most pressing threat. That shout we heard. Saulinia and her killers must be close. Traps. We've stopped some of the assassins, but not all of them. We must be wary.
You can't hide from us forever, Dragon Guard.
You couldn't find an Albeacon alabaster, Euraxian dolt?
That was the Dragon Guard. We're running out of time. Another maze. We must find a way to the other side.
Once I select a target, it always dies.
I trained to fight dragons. This isn't going to end the way you expect.
You and your order die. Oh, good. More blood.
Maybe now the royal family can rest in peace. Thank you, Five Claw. With Saulinia dead, maybe the royal family can finally rest in peace. The Dragon God ran through that door, but he was wounded. We should help him. Zamorak. There was a heaviness on Zamorak's soul. Now it disperses like sand in the wind. Still, this one promised to find a new path. But these events just returned him to the same one he walked before. Yes, but Zamorak believed his previous life of violence caused those deaths. His studies and meditations told him this was so. Now, with Saulinia's death, Zamorak feels lighter. It feels good, but it also feels like a betrayal of the desert wind. You are right, Five Claw. Violence ended the life Zamorak knew, and violence has given Zamorak a new life to lead. As the adepts say, some things are worth fighting for. These musings distract from the mission. Let us check on the Dragon Guard.
Damn assassin. She knew her stuff. I saw her fall, though. Thanks for that. After all these years, why do I suddenly have so much company? I know about the dragons. I sent word to the other sanctuaries. The last, I didn't think so, but no one else has responded. Maybe... No. I know at least one other is still out there. He'll come. He has to. Take my ring. It will open the sanctuary. Find the dragon horn. You have to. Have to.
May Kenarthi guide you to the sands behind the stars. Below. That looks like Prefect Kalo. What is he doing here?
Ah, there you are. We came as soon as we could. Were you able to stop Captain Solinia and her assassins? Both dead? Solinia deserved it. Shame about the Dragon Guard, though. And yes, it took some convincing and Tharn's most diplomatic negotiation tactics, but Queen Chimera has accepted our help. Provisionally. The Cygnus Irregulars are on probation. For now. Once Queen Chimera sees us in action, I'm sure she'll come around. Until then, I wanted to make sure you are all right. Beating Solinia is no small feat. I'm sorry we lost the Dragon Guard, though. A dragon horn? Like the one at Star Haven Adeptorium? Huh. Well, if you think this old relic can help, lead the way.
The barrier has fallen. See what awaits within.
Are these the remains of the Dragon Guard? Books and scrolls. I knew it. Knowledge is power, my friend. You'll see.
Such a small thing when compared to the dragons. Still, we should take it to Rimmon, yes? This dragon horn, it is different from the one at Star Haven. It has no light, no energy. An Adeptorium. Zamorak stayed there after he returned to Anequina. It was attacked by a dragon. One of the old treasures of Star Haven was a dragon horn. When sounded, the dragon cried in pain. The horn faded to dust after it was used. Zamorak cannot explain it. I do not remember the large horn having a detachable small horn, but I did not examine it too closely. When this one approached the Star Haven dragon horn, it was like being near a great heartbeat. This horn is quiet.
Well, now that you have the dragon horn, I suppose we should get back to Rimmon and see what Queen Chimera and Chancellor Tharn want us to do next. You know, it feels good to be doing something other than trying to rein in Euraxia for a change. We're in a Dragon Guard sanctuary. Old relics like this dragon horn are all well and good, But I want to see if we can find any books or scrolls that can tell us something about how to fight the dragons. We need every advantage we can get. Drakengard, Akaviri, ancient Nord warriors. Someone battled the dragons successfully in the past. Who's to say we won't find a record of their tactics and techniques here? It certainly won't hurt to look around. I want to take another look at these books. We'll meet you back in Rimmon.
Zamorak will linger as well, to make sure the Imperials find him.
The spices of Elsweyr sell for...
It's happening again. I see a dragon.
Cadwell? Cadwell? What was that about a dragon? Ah, there you are. See to Cadwell, if you would. Then join us in the throne room for the War Council.
Hello? Is someone there? I appear to be back in my head. Well, my other head. The other head. This is so confusing. Ah, wait. Things are becoming clearer now. Yes, well, there you are. Oh, so good to see you again, my friend. I saw that nasty orc necromancer, Zumog Foom. He really is a despicable fellow. And there was a dragon, a huge, powerful, eyes as big as a house dragon. They called it Carl Grunteed, means champion of the bound time. How do I know these things? Well, yes, I did. Seems the ears are as connected as the eyes. They talked about the moons, something about an eclipse and the perfect time to use the gate. I remember something about that from when I was the betrayer, but the details are hazy. My memory returns in dribs and drabs, but I'm not sure that's a good thing. If I remember anything helpful, though, I'll let you know. Where are my manners? They're waiting for you. Queen Kabira has called another war council in the throne room. Not a clue, but I know one way to find out. Head inside and see what the Cat Queen has to say.
The archives were extremely helpful once I found the appropriate documents.
Our moon singers and moon priests have always paid particular attention to detail. What did you learn?
Tharn found documents regarding an ancient agreement with the Dragon Guard. They apparently provided a weapon to use against the dragons.
This relates to the legends of Kunzari and Queen Anequina, yes?
Pardon the interruption, Queen Chimera, but that sounds like the dragon horn we found. That Dragon Guard didn't survive, but he gave us the Anequina dragon horn.
So this alliance I reluctantly agreed to has borne fruit.
The Cygnus Irregulars assisted, but your agent did the important work.
A weapon from the Dragon Guard. Interesting. Come, Five Claw. I want to hear your report. Agreeing to an alliance with Imperials. At least it appears this Prefect Kalo assisted you. Tell me what happened out there, Five Claw. I want to hear it from you. So that is the Dragon Horn. It is much smaller than I thought it would be, and it looks fragile. Sound it once and it will probably crumble to dust. What are we supposed to do with such a thing? As always, you have my thanks, Five Claw. Euraxia hoped to appease the dragons by assassinating the last Dragon Guard of Elsweyr. He died, but at least you acquired the Anequina dragon horn and avenged his death. Now if we only knew what to do with the damn thing. I know how a horn works, Five Claw, but this is a relic of ancient magic. I do not want to damage it before we learn the true significance of its power. I will have Tarn do more research. In the meantime, we have another matter to deal with. Cadwell's visions strike more frequently now, with more urgency. Tarn believes Zumog Foom is close to reassembling Cadwell's dismembered body. I want you to stop him. The betrayer of legend must not be reborn. Abner Tarn checks on Cadwell regularly. Find them and see if they can tell you where Zumog Foom hides. Meanwhile, I will consult with Gareshri. Review the Kunzari stories before we task Tarn with learning more about the Dragonhorn. A little. There was a similar relic at Starhaven Adeptorium, but I never gave it much thought. It was just there, another memento of a mostly forgotten past. The one you brought us, it bears the name of Anequina. Anequina is the name of our kingdom, the northern half of Elsweyr. It grew out of one of the 16 original prides and was named after my ancestor, Anequina Sharptongue. She was one of the ancient heroes, a member of Kunzari's Krajun. Legends and myths make up a great part of who we are, Five Claw. For the Khajiit, the truth of our stories is the truth, pure and simple. The return of the dragons began with the tales of Kunzari, and I expect it to end there as well. No. Kunzari and his company of heroes predate the arrival of the Akaviri and Tamriel. It was the Akaviri who gave rise to the Dragon Guard and revealed the secrets of the Dragonhorn. As I understand it, the Starhaven Dragonhorn was a gift from the ancient order of the Dragon Guard. If I remember what the adept at Starhaven once told me, I assume the same is true of the Anequina Dragonhorn. It's too bad that Dragon Guard you met did not live long enough to tell you more. Legends and myths make up a great part of who we are, Fiveclaw. For the Khajiit, the truth of our stories is the truth, pure and simple. The return of the dragons began with the tales of Kunzari, and I expect it to end there as well. No. Kunzari and his...
Old varlet! Don't you dare attach that foot on my ankle!
This is Cadwell's longest episode yet. Perhaps I can...
That's it! Time to give you knaves what for!
Bizarre visions. Dismembered bodies. I hate necromancy. Cadwell trusts you, Fiveclaw. You talk to him.
Who's there? Speak up! I'm about to teach these rapscallions a valuable lesson. And yes, I plan to make it hurt. Ah, jolly good. I could use a noble squire for the battle ahead. To battle ahead? Anyway, Zumog Foom has gathered the dismembered parts of the betrayer's body. I can't allow the necromancer to put me, back together. I'm not entirely certain. It's definitely a dark, menacing cavern. Just the sort of place necromancers enjoy hanging around. Oh! Here now! Stop that! Your pardon, noble squire, but I have to go kick myself in the head. I'm off to put a stop to these dastardly villains!
Tarn, can you determine where Cadwell disappeared to?
Of all the foolish, idiotic, misguided things that Cadwell has ever done, this may be the worst of them all. He fancies himself a hero, but he's given Zumog Foom exactly what he needed. I'm no expert on necromancy, but it's obvious that our Cadwell is the last piece Zumog Foom needs to restore the betrayer. He has all the parts of Cadwell's dismembered body, and now Cadwell has handed him the final component. His very essence. Does a soul shriven have a soul? I have no idea how the philosophy of oblivion accounts for such things, but there must be some kernel of the original Cadwell inside the one we know. It stands to reason the necromancer would need that as well. I managed to scry Cadwell's portal before it winked out. It connected to an ancient crypt in the Scar, not far from the Stitches. Head there immediately. The rest of us will make preparations and join you as soon as we can.
This one will enjoy putting a stop to the necromancer Zumog Foom.
We need to proceed cautiously where Zumog Foom is concerned. He's not only powerful, he's crafty. He won't be defeated as easily as his followers.
Garishri and I will do what we can to uncover the secrets of the Dragonhorn. Take Tarn and the others and stop Zumog Foom. The betrayer must not be restored to full power. I just wish we knew how this all ties into the plans of the dragons.
The betrayer did terrible things to the Khajiit of old. Zomag Fum must not be allowed to return that monster to life. Do whatever you must, Walker. Whatever you must.
The life of a nomad.